Forget everything you've been fed about inertia and weight. It is not just a simplification. It is a fundamental lie. Right now, I'm going to show you that weight is a phantom, and inertia is the behavior of the medium inside an object. No formulas, no dark matter, no invisible ghost particles. You don't need a degree, you just need a head that hasn't yet forgotten how to think for itself. If you watch to the end, something will click. You'll see the holes in the textbooks and understand why mass is not what you think it is. Ready to break your brain? Good, let's go. First trick question, what is weight? They tell you, it is the force of Earth's attraction. Lie. Picture an object. A crystal lattice, atoms, protons. Now stop. Do they weigh anything by themselves? No, they are the lightest dust. Weight is created by what surrounds them, the medium, the ether. It is dense, it is heavy, and it is everywhere. Inside the lattice, outside, in every crack. And this ether presses. The pressure is higher above, lower below. That pressure difference, that is your weight. It is not attraction. It is being pushed down. Archimedes, only the world is turned upside down. The conclusion is lethally simple. The weight of an object is not a property of the object. It is the force of the ether's pressure on its volume. More protons, more volume, more pressure. That is it. But what about mass? It is measured through inertia. You push an object, you feel resistance. They say mass and weight are proportional. Yes, that is, via the coefficient 9.81. And here is the catch. If weight depends on the number of protons, then inertia must depend on them too. And that is logical. More protons, a larger structure, more emptiness inside it. Both parameters grow together. That is your proportionality, no mysticism. Let's say we push this piece of matter. You'd think the heavy ether inside should lag, and the light lattice should move forward. But that doesn't happen. Know why? Because the air outside can't instantly fly inside and knock the ether out. A low pressure zone is created at the boundary, and the ether inside the object is forced to move along with the lattice to fill the void. They are inseparable. With a normal push, you can't feel where the inertia of the iron ends and the inertia of the ether inside it begins. They are one. To separate the substance and the medium inside, you have to spin it. Centrifugal force, that is your knife. It will force the dense ether inside to redistribute, to be pushed to the edges. Now the crystal lattice and the ether flow inside are two different entities. This is the key to all the strange effects. Take a massive disc, flywheel, on a rod. The rod can tilt freely. Spin the disc. Observe three things that would give a theoretical physicist a meltdown. It lifts itself. The faster it spins, the more it wants to stand vertically, by itself. It turns itself, precession. Let it go. The axis starts walking in a circle. Asymmetry. Try to rotate the rod yourself. In one direction, the disc easily soars up. In the other, it forcefully pulls down. Now ask your physics teacher, why? He'll start talking about gyroscopic moment and Coriolis. The gyroscopic effect is about resisting a change in axis. Here the axis changes by itself, the exact opposite. Coriolis force, that is an vanishingly weak force that only works in one plane, due to Earth's rotation. Our effects are powerful and in all directions. This isn't Coriolis. This is something else. So, why does the gyroscope lift off? While the disk isn't spinning, ether presses on every proton inside from above. That is the weight. You spin it, the internal structure starts working like a vein pump. It churns the ether inside. The ether, which is now rushing around in circles, no longer cares about the static pressure from above. The spinning disk loses weight. The first nail in the coffin of the official theory. Centrifugal force drives the ether to the rim. It flows out through the ends. To replenish, it is sucked in through the sides, a circulation. And here is the main trick. Due to the difference in external pressure, higher above, ether is easier to suck into the top part of the disc and harder to eject from it. At the bottom, it is the opposite. Result, the pressure above the disc drops, below it increases. That difference pushes the entire disc up. The faster you spin, the stronger the push. That is it. No magic. Because of this redistribution, the center of mass of the system, disc and ether inside, shifts. Rotation around the shifted center. That is your precession, that walking of the axis. The Chinese top that always stands on its stem and continues spinning in the same direction after flipping over. That is because a stable ether vortex has already formed inside it, which spins the matter. That is not the inertia of the substance. It is the inertia of the medium inside it. The Johnny Beckhoff effect, when a nut tumbles in weightlessness, the official explanation is a tangle of formulas from the tennis racket theorem. In reality, either a weak ether pressure gradient flips it, or a disruption of the spin axis warps the internal ether vortex, and it tumbles. Again, the model of the ether inside works. Why you can't weigh the weight loss on regular scales? You'd think if a spinning disc gets lighter, put it on a scale and catch the difference. Won't work, because the disc getting lighter pushes the ether down, and that ether presses on the scale pan itself. One thing gets lighter, the other gets heavier. The needle stays at zero. The effect is masked. You need to get clever. Separate the source of the effect and the measured object. Suspend a weight above a fast-spinning disc. The spin will create a zone of ether rarefaction under the weight, and its weight on the scales will decrease. That will be a clean, irrefutable measurement. What follows from all this? Conclusions that piss everyone off. Inertia is not a sacred property of matter. It is, first and foremost, a property of the ether trapped inside that matter. An object resists a change in speed because you need to redistribute its internal medium. Weight and gravity are not attraction. It is the pressure of the external medium, ether on the object's volume. All these effects, gyroscope, top, Johnny Beckhoff, are real and repeatable. Official physics doesn't give them a clear, elegant explanation. The ether model does, simply and consistently. Gravity and inertia can be controlled by creating the right flows and pressure differences of ether inside and around an object. This is no longer fantasy, it is engineering. The very principle that unexplained engines could work on. Now you don't have a fairy tale about the curvature of emptiness, but a mechanical, tangible model. A model you can trust because it explains real, not imaginary paradoxes. This knowledge is a tool. With it, you can understand what official science denies. If society doesn't grow morally, we'll just find new ways to self-destruct. That is why this channel isn't just about physics. It is about how to think so, as not to break the world while trying to understand it. Subscribe if you want to dig deeper. Thanks for watching.